Meet PAT. PAT stands for Public Accountability Team.
Right, part three. Lance is up next, aren't you, mate?
Yeah. Should we do a quick background on this one? Because
I think
obviously,
so.
yeah. Just to sort of say, a week prior to the meeting, I got sent the agenda for the meeting, and the free. So Have Your Say for Colchester is run. In my mind, it's actually run relatively well relative to certainly a lot of other councils. I.e., turn up, have your 3 minutes. They'll talk back at you. You get 1 minute to reply. It's no way is it ideal. It ain't a conversation, as will be clearly at the end of this video. But they now want to reverse all of that. Why? Because public are regularly turning up and trying to ask questions, and that's become a problem for them. So they now wish to, not that he used the word, but we'll watch the video. But so a week back, I emailed them with a relatively reasonable email, kind of went into basically, before you enact a change, which is retrograde, can we see the evidence upon which you want to base this decision? Because they're claiming that the public are now causing, basically we're stopping council business from happening. Have Your Says, frankly, I've been to quite a lot of them. They're over and done in no time whatsoever.
Oh, no,
But
just
the council, they're elevating apparently one meeting where it went on for like 40 minutes. So I can't.
No, they're claiming it's 90 minutes.
Oh, what? Yeah, exactly. But the question is, as well, so as I said to them, what about all the other meetings then? So if you're going to take a decision, you're surely not going to base it on one instance of overrun. And isn't it the case that if the public are turning up to have 90 minutes worth of getting their problems out, you're probably putting in place things that they don't like, and you need to listen to them, because aren't you meant to be delivering upon the public will? Anyway, the simple fact was this was all about them using one instance to bring about a change. The claim upon which they're looking to do that it's a lie. We know that. They know that. They simply just wish to control, restrain, basically get rid of it.
Balance, Lance. Balance. It's all about balance.
All about balance,
yeah?
as I mentioned. Anyway, we'll watch it, because otherwise I'll talk the whole bloody thing anyway.
Right, let's crack on.
Right. Thank you for entertaining me and the other members of the public at what I hope is not the last of the council's unimpeded Have Your Say session. I do not doubt that each and every one of you have read the email that I sent last Friday in respect of the ardent desire of someone within this council to discriminate against the public in being able to freely bring their grievances here. Now, I have attended what most normal people would likely regard as being too many Have Your Say sessions already. And for the most part, those sessions of public engagement are over in a matter of minutes. They are hardly consequential in forestalling council business. Indeed, my experience has led me to believe that they are rarely consequential in any respect. Now, rather than reiterate the entirety of my email, and in the pursuit of brevity, I would simply request that council give due consideration to the evidential basis upon which the proposed changes are being made. Now, I know that council would only ever adopt or change policy on an evidential basis, anything else being, well, both irrational and subject to the embarrassment of challenge. So, if you're individually considering supporting this constitutional change, which will inevitably forestall the public from freely voicing their concerns here, should you not at least consider the evidence upon which the claimed need to enforce such a retrograde step is being proposed? For it is, on balance, a claim which is all too likely to prove untrue in support of a change desired by the few, which is, however, for the many, both unnecessary and unwise. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor King.
Thank you very much for your email and for your remarks today. We will leave it to individual members to weigh what they've seen and your remarks today in your email. I will just say one more time, you heard it before, we're not discriminating or rejecting public participation, we're just striking a new balance. over twice the length of the constitutional one, which we're supposed to be working. So that's what it is: a better balance, a better order, and a better use of time. And it is, I'll say one more time, it's not the only way in which councillors, this administration, and others can engage with the public and do. So thank you.
Thank you. Would you like to
Just
any further comments?
Yeah, just a quick rejoinder. Yeah, absolutely. I understand exactly what it's saying. I think the word you were missing there was control. However, all I would suggest in the pursuit of balance, and as I suggested, is that you point to instances where the public, God forbid, overrun for a small period of time. It's relatively few and far between. On that basis, what I would suggest is, and in the pursuit of an evidential determination, why not have this debate forestalled until such time as you know exactly how long and how often it is that the public have the audacity to overrun? I don't think that's unreasonable. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor King. You've indicated.
I'm not going to give you a long list. We could, but that's not appropriate. But I'm reminding my colleagues, one example, there's several, would be a scrutiny session. There was 90 minutes worth of public engagement. It's not 15 minutes. It's not about individuals overrunning, it's about the collective mass of people often from the same group, similar views, pushing down a point, and they're entitled to a cause and impeding others, right? Keeping people waiting for the business to which they've come for an hour or more. So this is about, it's not a conversation here, but this is about this is about a better balance.
Agreed. In the pursuit of balance evidence. Thank you. So.
Well, I mean,
well, hilarious. Well, it's what did he say? So when I sort of said what I thought was perfectly reasonable, right? Why don't we just not have this vote now on this thing? Go away, collect the information as to how long the overruns have been, or how long all of these have what your says are.
Yeah,
and then just present it. Then at least they can. Is our proposed change necessary? And what did he say? I'm not going to present a list. In other words,
because you haven't got one.
Oh shit! Actually, if we did what he's saying,
yeah,
probably on balance go, yeah, okay. There were a couple of meetings here and there when the public have used more time. Now, don't forget that the chair can shut the have your say down at any point. That's constitutional already for them. So the reality is they've got all the power they need, and that's what I pointed out to them. You've got all the power you need to control the meeting. So what you want is additional power. Now, what's interesting here, at least, I'm going to take it. I've got a slightly perverse perspective on all of this. Because I came away from that meeting, you came away from that meeting thinking, yeah, just another kick in the balls, because that's what the public get, pay up and piss off. However, what they've actually done is, and let's not forget, this whole thing has come about. Why? Because they've made a bad decision.
Mm-hmm.
At least we genuinely believe that they've made I think they know they've dropped a clanger with this whole nonsense. So they've made a bad decision. So they've caused the initial problem that people have reacted against. Mm-hmm. So in causing a problem, the people have reacted. We've gone up there, and the more that they've pushed back, the more the public push back. It's understand psychology. That people generally tend to, if you're going to get their back up, they're going to push back harder. Mm-hmm. So anyway, the problem's manifested itself, and now they've got a problem because the way in which the public are pushing back is now something that they also now need to control. So originally I was thinking, oh, this is great. We've now lost the half decent have your say, which was always a risk. But really what they've now gone and done is they've made another bad decision. Rather than resolve the original problem, they've now gone and created another problem for themselves. Why? Because in seeking to do what they're doing, which is shutting people down from just going along and speaking, so saying their piece, as it were, they've now caused they've now caused an administrative function. They've now, from nowhere, they've now created another set of debacles.
Mm.
What they've now given effectively is they've given, like the administrative state, it always causes its own downfall. Why? Because it always looks to impose measures for other measures upon other measures because the measures that they take never work. Why? Because they're bad.
Yeah.
So what they've now done is effectively, in terms of now attempting to control the public ever further, they've now given us the means by which we can hold them to account. Why? Because if I now, following the new rules, and sort of say to them, well, I'd like to, I want to speak on this topic, and it's perfectly rational and reasonable for me to do so. Well, now they're going to evidentially prove, or they're going to give me the evidential information that I wouldn't have had before this measure when they don't want us to talk. I could never have had that before because I'd turn up, save me 3 minutes, and go toddle off home. Now, when I apply to the council to talk on whatever topic I happen to, feel, particularly aggrieved about, if they don't want to see me and they don't want me to turn up, they're going to make an evidential record of basically of not allowing for the public to speak freely, and then I can go for them on that because that guy said we're not discriminating. If I'm not mistaken, in his retort, we're not discriminating. Well, now I can prove it when you are. Whereas before, I wouldn't have had that route available to me there. And then we can start talking about whether we go to the ombudsman and start talking about what these councils are doing. This council in particular, in making this step, has now gone and
They'll if you present your question the day before, that they can just turn around and say, well, we've provided you the answer over email, like they did with me at Malden.
Yeah. We all know how
So-
these what it was. I mean, I've written an article on it on the Substack, but basically, what now, whatever it is that the public wishes to air, will need to sit within their proximal grievance list, i.e., if it's between here and here, left wing or right wing, then it will proceed. But if you coming at it from here, there's no avenue there. And you know what? Great, fine. I got no problem with that. Because if I'm outside your remit, it's probably because, well, I'd have to say that I'm right, but it's probably because it's right.
It's a shame we've lost the mayor.
The old mayor.
Extremely enthusiastic for the public to turn up and have their say, and for members in the public gallery to show their enthusiasm as well. So has that all gone now? Who's
to say? I mean, look, we know that the new mayor had a bad experience, but let's not make one swallow a summer make, as it were.
Yeah. Right. Okay. So we're that's it for the minute for the foreseeable. We shall see what happens next, I suppose.
Yeah.
All right, mate.
See you later.
Meet PAT. PAT stands for Public Accountability Team.